person and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over what you guys think are the best books of 2023 so far. So a couple of weeks ago I asked on my Instagram what your favourite books of 2023 were so far. And there were a lot of different books that came out of it, and today I'm going to judge you. I'm going to see if you have taste. Do you have taste? You the person watching this video right now, is your favourite book of 2023 really a good book? I don't know. We're going to find out. So I haven't actually gone through all the answers yet. I have them all here on my phone to kind of go through. Basically though, as I was sitting there screenshotting them all, there was one thing that did appear quite consistently, which I think is no surprise. Fourth Wing obviously came up about 17,000 times as everyone's favourite book of 2023 so far, which, like I said, yeah, does not surprise me. I expected that 100%. I was actually, not gonna lie, honestly, I was a little bit afraid that like everyone was gonna say that Fourth Wing was their favourite book of 2023, and then I was like, oh my god, this video is gonna have any purpose if everyone says that Fourth Wing is their favourite book of 2023, which I will say is valid. You do get a gold star if Fourth Wing is one of your favourite books that you have read this year, because it's one of my favourite books that I've read this year. So you know what? You do have taste, because it actually is a good book and it's not overhyped. If you like a little bit of smut, like around about like a 2 on the spicy scale, but you love fantasy romance, you love enemies to lovers that aren't really enemies, let's be real, because he was clearly simping over her the entire time, a badass female main character plus some dope ass dragons and magic, this is gonna be the book for you. I love this book, definitely worth the hype, definitely can be one of your favourite books of 2023, so A+ to you. Now, the other books that came up. Then we've got from Reading with Kathleen, she said Alone with You in the Ether, which is by Olivia Blake, which I haven't read yet but has a really pretty cover. I don't know, I've never read any of Olivia Blake's books and I do own them. I own like the Atlas 6 and the sequel to that, but I haven't read her yet, and I think it could be interesting for me to try her out. Although I feel like I've seen everyone talk about Atlas 6, and then after that I feel like I haven't really seen that many people really talk about Olivia Blake. I feel like she's still there, but she's not like as hyped as she first was when that came out, which is kind of interesting. Then we've got from Baby Keila Marie, Divine Rivals, which literally over the last couple of weeks has blown up, which I'm so happy to see, because I haven't read Divine Rivals, but I adore Rebecca Ross. So Rebecca Ross, I read her first in 2018. It was literally when I started my YouTube channel, I read Rebecca Ross. And I read The Queen's Rising. It was my very first book I read. It was her debut novel. And the Queen's Rising, that duet to this date is still one of my favourite series. And it's hilarious that now, 18, 9, 21, 5 years later, that it's taken 5 years, but she has finally blown up. So she's an author that I've been following for 5 years now, and she's finally getting the recognition she deserves. I love Rebecca Ross, and I'm so glad that Divine Rivals is a book that everyone's like now reading. That being said, I actually am not that interested in reading it. I'm gonna read it anyway. I will, because I love Rebecca Ross. But it has to do with like kind of a weird time travel-y, like computery typewriter-y magic system that isn't necessarily my cup of tea, I don't think. Like I haven't read the book yet, but I'm kind of like curious to see how it's gonna work. And it's also a bit historical, and I'm not a huge fan of like historical fantasies. There's something about historical fantasies that have just never worked for me ever, and so because of that I'm a bit hesitant to try this book out, because I do love Rebecca Ross and I know that I love her books and her writing, but this specific one I'm just like, oh, is this going to be for me? Then the next book that everyone's talking about, this is from Georgie323, The Serpent and Wings of Night, which I do plan on reading very, very soon, doing a dedicated reading vlog for, hence why I own this. This book, this came out in 2022, everyone has been raving about it since then. It is a duet, and it's about a girl who's a human. She was adopted by one of the vampire kings, and she has to compete in a legendary tournament to prove herself, and she ends up having to make an alliance during the tournament with this other vampire who's actually technically her enemy. And I don't know, this, apart from until Fourth Wing literally blew up on the market and became like everyone's vagina, this was like the fantasy series that everyone was talking about, and everyone still is, but this was like the hyped book for like the last year now, as like, okay, Carissa Broadbent is like the new, like the next must-read author after like Sarah J Maas and JLA basically. And so I'm going to be reading her very soon to see what the hype is about and if it's actually supposed to be there, because everyone has said that this is like one of their favorite fantasy romances that they have read, and like that this is like getting back into like proper fantasy romance. So I'm curious. Oh, Jessie K. Taylor 1 says Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Yes. I read Hooked in 2021 as soon as it came out. It's a dark contemporary Peter Pan retelling. Basically, you're following Hook as he ends up seducing Wendy to get revenge on Peter Michaels. And it was so good. It was so amazing. It's the first book that I ever read that really prominently displayed breath play and like hand necklaces as a kink in it. And ever since then, I feel like that was kind of the hallmark and the starter for breath play and hand necklaces to become a really big thing. And so I definitely recommend that book. If you are someone who likes mafia romances or criminal romances, definitely check it out. It's also a really great beginner dark romance, because I like to think of Emily McIntyre's books as being like dark light. Like, they're not dark romances, but they're dark enough that if you've never tried the genre before, they're a really great segue into the dark romance genre to kind of like dip your toes into the water. It's basically like being the shallow end with these books, and so definitely recommend her. Hooked is a great book. Ooh, Horcrux 3 says Empire series in all by Rena Kent. Can't choose one in this. Rena Kent is an author that I've seen so many people love. Now, Rena Kent writes a bunch of like mafia criminal books. She's got like a massive backlist. I haven't read them because there's like apparently a very specific reading order to them, and I'm someone where like if there is a reading order, I have to follow the reading order, and so I haven't gotten to her books because there's like 15 of them, and that's super daunting. So I haven't started her yet because of that. She does seem like she'd be really interesting to try out, but I haven't because of that. Aaron says, not a new book, and despite the flaws of the series, The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I haven't read that, but that's such an oldie. Oh my god, love. Solaria Royal Blue said Lucy's Duet, A+ to you. I adore The Lucy's Duet. The Lucy's Duet by Harley LaRue is a polyamorous dark romance duet, and I absolutely adore the crap out of it. It is so kinky. It has literally every kink in existence you could ever think about, and they are some of my best books that I've read in 2022 and 2023. I adore this series. I recommend it to everyone. It is just fucking phenomenal. You're following this girl who was super popular in high school and used to bully these guys with her boyfriend. This takes place after college, where she moves back to her hometown. Her car breaks down and she ends up being basically rescued from one of the guys that she used to bully. And he now runs like an auto mechanic shop, and he offers to fix her car. She doesn't have the money to fix it, so they enter into a deal. And the deal is that in exchange for him fixing the car, she will be basically his submissive and his friend's submissive and their plaything until her car is fixed. And so it's like a very like kinky deal that they have going on, and it is absolutely amazing. There are a lot of trigger warnings in it, but it is one of the most kink positive and best like polyamorous romances you will ever read, hands down, and I adore the shit out of it. This one girl says The Monster Trilogy by Rena Kent. So we did just talk about Rena Kent before, but apparently the Monster Trilogy specifically. And then basically Books with Joy said Until I Get You by Claire Contreras. Now, I've actually seen there's a bunch on the Kindle. What is this about actually? I'm pretty sure it's a Until I Get You. It's a hockey romance? What? What? I'm sorry, this cover does not tell me hockey romance. I thought this was a massive dark romance. This is a spicy, standalone hockey romance with an obsessed, morally grey hero. Oh, it has a revenge plot and romantic suspense. A jealous, possessive hero, boy obsessed, and dark themes. What? 3 years ago, she ruined my life. Now I'm going to return the favor? My reputation at Fairview University preceded me. I was a projected #1 pick in the NHL draft. Everyone wanted to be me or be with me except for Lila James Markile. She didn't look at me like I was the next meal. She looked at me with disdain. Oh my god, when I finally got her, I felt like I was on top of the world. I had everything by my side until she left without warning and just vanished. 3 bitter, long years later, I found her. And now I'm going to become her worst nightmare. What? What kind of a hockey romance? Yo, actually, dude. I kind of want to read that. I kept seeing it, did not realize. Yo, okay. No, it's been super popular. Like, it's had like an orange banner. It's like currently actually just dropped out of the top 100 in the Kindle store. but it's like top 5 in like new adult. Wow, interesting. Then we've got, what else we got? Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. Now that is, Chloe Walsh has got Binding 13 and Keeping 13, which is part of her like Boys of Tommen series. This is a like English rugby like new adult series that I've seen a bunch of. I don't actually know what the plot is, but this series blew up. I haven't read it yet because the first 2 books are Binding and Keeping 13, and then the second books are Saving and Redeeming 6, and then she's got the next book's coming out soon. But the first 2, that duet, there's like over 1,000 pages together. They're like 800-page books each. And then like the same thing with the other 2 books. And I'm just like, I don't have the time to read like 1,500 pages about like, I'm just like, are they like, what? I definitely don't want to do a reading vlog for this series because I feel like everyone talks about it. But I'm just like, oh my stars, like those are massive. Like how could, and like what? Like I need to know what the hype is around those books, because like I was seeing Chloe Walsh pop off on TikTok, pop off on Twitter at the end of 2022, and then 2023 she popped off on TikTok, and I'm just like, what is going on there? Like she's been viral AF. 2 people said A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is a YA thriller like mystery series, which I haven't read. I'm never going to read. I will watch the TV show, but I have no interest in kind of, maybe I'll listen to the audiobook. Then we have A Sea of Ruin and Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing, of course. Sea of Ruin is by Pam Goodwin. It's like a pirate spicy romance, but I've heard that it's super dark and messed up, which I didn't read it back when everyone said that because I was like, I wasn't super into like my dark romance era, but maybe I should go back to Sea of Ruin because it's like supposed to be one of the quintessential dark romance books, you know? Then we have Pucking Around, which is that like Why Choose hockey romance series that's like 800 pages. I'm gonna officially pick up Pucking Around because I want to know what it's about, but I'm just like, dudes, yo, like really? Then we have My Killer Vacation, which is by Tessa Bailey, which is a short and smutty summer romance that has to do with like a girl finding like a dead body in her vacation home and trying to solve it. And then we have Bookish Delight said Happy Place by Emily Henry. I just tried my first Emily Henry book. I didn't like it, so I don't know if I'm gonna read Happy Place. But I've seen I feel like every single time an Emily Henry book comes out, I see very mixed reviews for it, and that's like the same case again with Happy Place. But I feel like I kind of really love the premise of Happy Place. But it's these 2 best friends who used to date and then broke up, but no one knows that they broke up. And so they're now pretending that they're still together. But apparently like he's in a role, I don't know, it's like weird and messy, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll pick it up. I probably won't. If I do pick up another Emily Henry book, it'll be eons in the future, to be quite honest with you. Oh, Madison Officer said Manacled by Sen-Lin Yu, which I'm pretty sure, isn't that the Drarry, like the Harry, Hermione, no, not the Drarry. Drarry's not right. Yeah, I was on Tumblr during that era, guys. I was never a Harry Potter kid. I was always Percy Jackson, but I knew about Drarry and Hermione fan fiction from the beginning. Pretty sure Manacled by Sen-Lin Yu is a Hermione fanfic, like a massive one, which is quite interesting to see. I just have no interest in reading those because I'm not into that like whole fandom. Alyssa Lewis said, for me it has to be The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Yo, that is such a good book. It's the only book by Taylor Jenkins Reid that I've ever read. I actually listened to an audiobook. Still to this day, one of my favorite audiobooks. I'm gonna get more of my, I was drinking a cocktail before I started this. Hang on. And I feel like talking about The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is like perfect. Seven Husbands of, I made myself, I don't actually know what this drink is called, but it's very good. But The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is iconic and needs to be turned into a movie. It needs everything about it. One of the best audiobooks you could ever listen to. I would listen to it again easily if I wanted to. But you're following like basically this Hollywood starlet Evelyn Hugo and her entire life through her 7 husbands, like who's her true love, as she's like recounting it to this one person, and it's like just amazing, honestly. Then from Hermione's library, LOL, you said King of Pride, which I totally agree with you on. King of Pride is the second book in the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang, and it is an opposites attract forbidden British billionaire romance. Oh my god, so good. I loved Kai and Isabella's romance, especially because first off, Kai, he's like a gentleman hero, so he's very different from like all the alpha holes that you see in like other books. He translates books into Latin for fun. That's what he does in his free time. And then Isabella is this like wild child basically, but there's a scene where he has her read a passage from a book while I think he eats her out, and she has to like read the entire passage while it was so good. It was so good. A+ choice there. I don't know what this book is. ᴛᴏᴏᴅ by Kerry Lake. ᴛᴏᴏᴅ. That sounds kind of interesting. Oh! A dark academia gothic romance. What a pretty cover. Hello. What is 682 pages? For real. For real. People. Let's see. Oh, hang on. They have a little thing down here. It says, what is this book about? Student professor romance, age gap, forbidden romance, secret society, touch her and you die, angsty tension, slow burn with lots of spice, mysterious island, dark academia and gothic romance. By day, I'm a professor. By night, I'm a monster. Oh, it's a university. Okay, so it's like over 18. How interesting. Oh, I'm so intrigued by this. Adding this to the TBR. Hello. Thank you, dark_romance reader. Then we have another fourth wing. Oh my god, Chrissy Pollard gave me a manga, which is Miss Miyazan Would Love to Get Closer to You. Oh my god, this looks adorable. What is this manga? Hello. Two high school classmates, Sakura and Soto, are polar opposites. Sakura is a prim and proper young lady and Soto is a brusque former troublemaker. But they're secretly dying to talk to each other even though their backgrounds are so different. Oh, adorable! Love. Definitely checking that out. Another fourth wing. Oh my god, Emma Moonchild said, The Sister Between Us. 5 stars, but will make you cry. Well, that's not happening, so I'm not even gonna... no, I don't feel like crying right now. Fandom Decor Shop said Heaven's Official Blessing, which is a BHL light novel manhwa kind of vibe going on. I'll show you it right here. A+ choice to you too, babes. Stella's Cup of Coffee said Every Summer After, which is super popular, but I haven't actually read that yet. Someone else said Binding and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh, again. Madison P. McKay said The Bully by Sophie Lark. Taste, Madison, taste. That's kind of meta there. The Bully is my favorite in the Kingmaker series, which is Sophie Lark's spin-off mafia romance series, and it is set at a mafia university where all the kids of prominent mafia families go to basically like hone their skills. And The Bully is a bully romance and it has some of the best spicy scenes you will ever read in your entire life, hands down. We have Love Theoretically, which is the newest Ellie Hazelwood book, which I have not read. I also haven't read this Love on the Brain either. I've only read The Love Hypothesis. Now, I do want to read more of Ellie Hazelwood's books, so I know that I'll actually love them because I'm a science girly and STEM babe, so I know that her books will really work for me, but I'm just lazy. I also don't own Love Theoretically, so... But I do own Love on the Brain. It is somewhere in storage right now, so I can't currently read it, but I know that I would enjoy it, so A+ to you. We have another fourth wing. Caitlin Smith said One Dark Window, which is a book I owned and then unhauled because I was like, I don't think I'm actually going to get to it. Another 4 fourth wings, of course. Ambi's Bookish Pages says Royally Not Ready by Megan Quinn, which is a royal romance from her, which is about a girl going to the UK, meeting a guy who's like British royalty and like falling in love with him. I love Megan Quinn. She has like the best, she's like one of the best rom-com authors you could read of all time. Then Omnia7317 says Sweet Dandelion and the Mindfuck series. The Mindfuck series, oh my god. Mindfuck series is the best dark romance that you could ever read. And even then, the romance takes a backseat to like the whole serial killer plotline. Yo, if you have not read the Mindfuck series, you need to close this video right now and go watch it. It is literally one of the best books of all fucking time. Literally adore the shit out of the Mindfuck series. It is so, so good. I can't even call it a smutty romance because it's not even like smutty. I mean, there are spicy scenes, but like for a serial, it's like the best serial, oh. I would haul my ass out for that book. Literally so good, so good. Fuck, we got another 5 different fourth wings going on. Then we have Ruthless Creatures and Savage Hearts by J.T. Gessinger, which I've read Ruthless Creatures, but I haven't actually read Savage Hearts yet. Which is interesting that you said books 1 and 3 and not 2, because I enjoyed book 2 in that series, but I loved book 1. So I should probably continue on with it, but this is J.T. Gessinger's Mafia Romance series, which Ruthless Creatures is actually one of my favourite mafia romances that I have read, so I do actually really recommend this. So you get an A+ from me, babes. And yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. So I feel like you guys do have taste. I kind of went through that. There are a couple of books I didn't know that I'm kind of like mad about. A couple of books I didn't know that I'm like, hello, I now want to read, so thank you. And a couple of books that I was like, yes, of course you would pick those books. So yeah, at the end of the day, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click that button down below. If you want to see more of me, so go to my channel. And until next time, thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.